Today, Rapides Parish District Attorney Phillip Terrell has obtained a death warrant for death row inmate Larry Roy. Colin Vidros joins me now in the studio with more. Colin, how did this new development happen?
Well, Johnny, Governor Jeff Landry announced today the Department of Public Safety and Corrections has implemented a protocol for carrying out sentences for defendants on death row. One of those defendants is Larry Roy. On May 3rd of 1993, Larry Roy attacked his ex-girlfriend Sally Richard and her ex-husband Freddie Richard Jr. along with her 2 young children. She and her children escaped and called for help. Before Roy could reach them, he killed her elderly aunt Rosetta Salas as well as Freddie Richard Jr. At the time, news of Roy's arrest grabbed headlines, and he was dubbed by police and media as the Shaneyville Slasher. A little over a year later, a Rapides Parish jury unanimously found him guilty of the murders and sentenced him to death. Rapides DA Terrell said this in part: "I've advocated for years the adoption of nitrogen hypoxia as a painless method of execution. Now, thanks to Governor Landry, Attorney General Merle, and the legislature, we can finally bring justice to the survivors of Roy's horrible crimes." However, there is some opposition to the Department of Corrections' new protocol. Michael McClanahan is the president of the NAACP Louisiana State Conference. He said this in part: "We refuse to stand by while Louisiana resurrects the racist cruelties of the past, echoing the brutal injustices of lynching and slavery, especially offensive during Black History Month, a month meant to honor freedom and accomplishments." The warrant requests Roy to be put to death on March 19th, 2025, between the hours of 6 and 9 p.m. at the Louisiana State Penitentiary in Angola. It's unclear if the defendant will decide to appeal the death warrant. We'll continue to follow the story as it develops. Johnny, back to you.